Coming off an historic 11-win season a year ago that includes wins in the Battle of the Golden Horseshoe and the Causeway Classic, but ended in the FCS quarterfinals, the UC Davis Aggies were picked to finish second in the 2025 Big Sky preseason coaches poll.
Yeah, the Aggies will look to rebuild instead of rebuilding after losing stars like Mr. Do-It-All Lan Larson and 3-year starting QB Miles Hastings to graduation. Returning to Davis is preseason Defensive Player of the Year Rex Connors, who flirted with the transfer portal this past offseason, and his brother Porter, along with wideout Samuel Batu Jr., tight end Winston Williams, kicker Hunter Ridley, a lot of names, and a pair of offensive linemen, of course, who could forget about them, and Ernesto Nava and Eli Simonson.
With that, we bring in Aggie head football coach Tim Plough. Coach, appreciate you stopping by Sports Sunday again.
Yeah, proud to be here. Thanks, guys.
Hey, heading into year 2, Coach, what have you learned from your first year over in Davis, and what do you want to implement in your second year at the helm?
I think the first part is just, you're kind of nervous first-year head coach of, hey, I hope the things I believe in work, right? I hope they can lead to some success. You don't know how early that's going to happen. The fact that we had success early on, add some confidence to you as a leader, like, okay, I think we're on the right track. So really, I'm just trying to be consistent and show the guys that no matter what happened a year ago, like, we still believe in the same things. We just got to do our process a little bit better to hopefully get a little further.
And what a way to start your head coaching career, going 11-3 in your first year. When you look back, at least an off-season removed, a good chunk of time at least removed, what stuck out to you about that run that made you guys so successful?
I think a lot about those players. I was fortunate enough to recruit a lot of those guys and to be able to come back and spend a year with them and to kind of see it through. They had been through a lot. They'd lost some tough games, had some tough seasons, and they were extremely motivated. So it wasn't like I had to do anything special. I was just trying to help them get over that hump. What's it going to take to win these type of games? But they were already motivated, and so I'll just always remember that group of guys. That they were loyal to me. A lot of them could have left with a new coach, but they wanted to stick it out with me, and they wanted to win, and to see that success was cool. So I'll always remember those guys.
Coach, you're going to have to replace some big-time hitters this next year. Lan Larson is gone, Miles Hastings is gone, but you have some quality guys coming back. The Connors brothers, Batu Jr. at the wide receiver position. When you look at this, how is this season not a rebuild but a reload season for you guys?
Well, I think first thing you think about is, like, you don't replace great players. There's never going to be Lan Larson again. He's a once-in-a-lifetime player. So if they're looking for him next year, he won't be there. He's not going to come back. Just like Keelan Doss, you don't get guys like that ever again. Or when I was at Boise, it's like Khalil Shakir. Those guys don't come around very often. So what you hope is, instead of replacing them, can you build the next guy? And hopefully years from now, you guys are like, hey, how are you going to replace Jordan Fisher? How are you going to replace Sam Batu? So you hope, like, every year, you're building the next guy, and he gets to build his own name and his own legacy. So you lose great players, but then the fun part of being a coach is we're a development program at Davis, have been for a long time. So bring in great young players and develop them and see what they bring to the table and what great memories they can create for Davis and the community.
QB battles can always be healthy if you have the at least right mindset going into it. Just when you had a checklist perhaps going into this offseason or maybe even spring of what you wanted your starter to look like. What was that, and how did Caden perhaps, or I think guys also like Grant Harper too, that really took the reins of what you wanted to do?
Yeah, luckily I've been coaching quarterbacks now for almost 20 years, and even myself being involved in quarterback battles. I think the important thing is you look for the same traits that you would always look for in a quarterback is leadership, number one. Does this guy have the ability to lead and lead other men, and are they going to follow him? Toughness, do they have the mental toughness it takes to play the position and the physical toughness it takes to play the position? And then lastly, I always think of accuracy. Are they guys that are going to make the throws when they need to? Are they going to be able to be accurate when guys are open? That goes into their decision making. Obviously, we've been pretty open about the fact that it's kind of a two-headed race. Caden Pinnock is a local guy that everyone's really excited about. He's got a great future regardless. But he's a super talented kid that's really driven. And then Grant Harper's a guy from the Bay Area that's been in the program for 5-6 years, dealt with some injuries, really resilient. And he's had a great camp too. So, you got a veteran guy that you're pushing for. You also got a young guy that has great aspirations and a great future. I think the positive for us is we can win with both guys. I've been in situations where I don't know if either guy can play, but both these guys can win, and so it's a good problem to have. And it's a healthy competition, and the guy that earns it will earn it. But I think we've also shown nowadays in college football, it's not out of the realm where you might need two guys to win a championship. You know, we've seen that at all levels of football. So I'm fired up that we have two guys that we know we can win with. They're battling every day, but they're doing it the right way.
Coach, you're a former quarterback yourself. We dug through the archives and could not find any playing tape of you.
Thank goodness.
Think that was a
Thank goodness. Yeah.
But we did find some archive video of this. If we can take this real quick, Coach, can you just break down what Coach Plough at NAU about 12 years ago was doing in this video, and just how much have you learned from then to now?
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know about. I got more hair right there, which is good. But I think
and no kids, right?
No kids, yeah. But man, that was a fun time. Coach Biggs, our old Davis coach, had retired, and you know, so now you're looking for a job. And Rich Scangarello, who's a great quarterback coach, been in the NFL a long time. He was the offensive coordinator at NAU. Brought me in as the wide receiver coach. But I just gotten married. My wife and I marry her and I'm moving her. You know, we're leaving. We're going to Flagstaff. And but man, we had some great players there. And my time at Flagstaff was really special to us. Still one of the best places we've ever lived in. And my wife and I think about it a lot. Had our first son, Jackson, was born in Flagstaff. But yeah, I just think a young coach that's trying to finally out on his own, right? Like, you're away from the nest. Coach Biggs and Coach Moraski and those guys that kind of raised you as a coach, now they're gone, and now you're on your own and kind of building your own resume and the things you believe in. And shortly after that, I got to be the offensive coordinator there, and that really was the launching pad for me as a coordinator, was at NAU, to be honest, because that was the first time I was on my own. And we had some good teams and scored a lot of points. And but yeah, a lot more hair back then.
Yeah.
A lot less kids, so a lot more fun too, probably for my wife and I back then. So, but that's cool to see, and I'm glad you didn't find the playing film, because that would not have been as fun to talk about.
You did a fantastic job at scrubbing the internet as the years went on. Coach Plough, we look so forward to seeing what the Aggies can do this year. Appreciate you for stopping by as well.
I just appreciate your guys' support of the program and giving us a platform to talk about Aggie football. So everyone out there, get your season tickets, come out and support the team, and look forward to seeing you guys in the fall.
Hey, go Aggies, as always.
Yep, go Aggies.